I'm making this video in response to a quiz that Jesse's Drone Adventures has posted here on YouTube. Now, most of his videos are over the Native American First Citizen ruins, out toward Apache Junction, up toward Payson, up into there. There's actually quite a number of along those river valleys, the canyons, river valleys, stuff like that. And he does some pretty good videos. He'll hike a little bit. He'll fly his drone over some of the places that you really can't get to by hiking. Jesse's Drone Adventures, well worth watching. He's got videos from a few other states that I've seen, but most of them are here in here in Arizona. Most of them are, along the Salt River, Gila River. I think it's all along Salt River Canyon places in there. But anyway, in this quiz, this survey he's taking, he said, when you go camping, how do you do it in a tent? Do you do it in your vehicle? Do you just sleep out on the ground? Questions like that. Now, only time I remember, this was, I was a kid, maybe 14, 16, somewhere in there. I was with my dad. We camped on top of somewhere in the Bradshaw. I don't remember exactly where, but we just left out there. But this was over 50 years ago. When I was a kid, you could sleep. Two people could sleep in separate tents. Pretty much anywhere, and not worry about people bothering you. You can't do that today. There's too many meth heads. There's too many crackheads to worry about. Somebody that might whack you in the head for $5 in your pocket. That's kind of how I feel going down to the zone. There in Phoenix, where those homeless encampments, and they are still there. And sometime I need to get down there and video it. Not really get any individual faces, but just kind of show what's there. Even in the heat of summertime, even though the police have run those people out, they're still down there. There's still some hardcore homeless people that camp out down in the zone. But anyway, back to Jesse's Drone Adventures. Now, I've got a bucket list of places that I want to go that might be a 1 or 2 day thing. And I was tempted just to sleep in a cab by pickup. We'll get that in a second. Now, if I can find an old beat-up travel trailer and kind of just get it fixed up just good enough for me, I don't need anything fancy, just something good enough to put my crap in there, sleep in there. Me and with a 45 under my pillow, so if some crackhead wanted to tangle with me, I'd be prepared to deal with them. I'd prefer not to have to do that. But one idea I had was like Miramar or Aramark, that aviation graveyard down there. It's around it's maybe a 2-hour drive, south from Phoenix, something like that. I tend to go down there and then go down to Picacho Peak. Now, if I did it in the summertime, I've got some plans. So some ideas in my head of a 12-volt DC evaporative cooler. Using like an automotive, the radiator fan and then a bilge pump, those little marine pumps that, because I've seen some coolers that were solar and set up that way, but I'd want to just get something I could, like an old D-shaped cooler, like some of the real old ones, and, with the pads wrapped around the back of this thing. That would be something simple. If I ever do make something like that, make something that would work, be easy to somebody else to do, I'll post the plans here on YouTube or Facebook or somewhere, so that anybody else that wants to do it could do it. But I could hang out, either in one of my windows by pickup, or in the window of a little camp trailer or something, just so I wouldn't be miserable in the summertime. I don't know if I'd ever, pinch a tent here anywhere close. Now, if it's maybe up to Bradshaw's or maybe to Catalinas or, somewhere, far away from the crackheads and the meth heads and stuff, I might sleep on that tent. There, I'd be more worried about mountain lions and bears than crackheads. Still, I'd want to have something that would deter a mountain lion or a bear. Okay, love your videos, Jesse. Hey, Jesse's Drone Adventures, he's well worth watching. He puts out some pretty good videos. Love you, dude. Bye-bye.